All right, how are you looking?
I had to create a new YouTube link. It ended the stream.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You had to create a new one, Ty?
Yeah, it wouldn't let me restart it after it ended.
Oh, closed. That's not good.
No.
Oh, shoot. Got a lot of people going to that link. So what's going to happen when they click on that link?
It's going to go to when we first started the Zoom and connected to it. And they're going to get 2 minutes of setting it up.
Oh, shoot.
1 second.
Send it out to a lot of people.
I'm going to put I just emailed the new link, but I'm also going to put it in the other stream.
Okay. All right, Seretha, I'm going to ask you about some of your first challenges, how some of those went, and then of course your training that you have going on. I'm going to ask you how that's going, and then if you have some success stories of what you dealt with so far, definitely want to mention some of that, and then also any issues you dealt with individuals that are maybe that are not ready or that they can actually improve upon. We want to talk about some of those things before we really jump into it as well. Sounds good?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. How you looking, Ty?
Good. I sent the link over.
Can we put down in the comments there? And actually, are we ready to get started?
Yeah, it's ready.
Do you need me to hit the link again?
Nope, it's all running. It's just in the new YouTube though.
What's going on with YouTube?
It's at the new link on YouTube now though.
All right. Khadisha, if you could put it, did you place it down in the chat?
I am now.
Khadisha, if you could just use that one instead.
Okay.
It's in the comments on the old link.
All right, let's get started. I don't know what button I just hit there. All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, let me know when we're live. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. But you can go ahead and start the process. All right, we live yet?
We are.
All right, let's make it happen. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody. And let's do this real fast before we get started. Welcome everybody. Of course, I'm Brian Morse with Black Directory, largest Black business directory in the world. Excited to have you all getting ready to join us. And those of you that are joining us, excited to have you. Go right ahead while we're getting started here. Go ahead and subscribe to the page. So if you're on the page there, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. And then also go ahead and like the page as well. And let's get started here. We're going to be getting started here in just a moment. All right. And by the way, we have a link here, actually a link change. So I'm going to place some information. Again, Kadisha, if you could place that information down in the chat over there on YouTube, that'd be great. Give me 1 second. All right. Before some things happen right while we're getting started. All right, excellent. So good. So we're going to be getting started in just a second. So just waiting for a few individuals to get in. How's everybody today? So we're starting a little bit later than normal, but this is good. I actually like this time. So this is actually a really, really great time. And of course, we have a great guest coming up. And then, of course, Miss Seretha, you can start sharing your screen whenever you get ready. And I'm going to give a great intro here, a great introduction, because, again, we have some great things going on, some great things happening here also. All right. So definitely as we get the numbers up. So as you're coming in, go ahead and subscribe to the page and go ahead and like the page. Again, I'm Brian Morse, the Black Directory, the largest Black business directory in the world. Listen, this is a great one here again. We have a great Black business here. And so while we're getting started, also go ahead and share this broadcast here as well. Go ahead and share it there as well, and to some other individuals. Again, we did have a link change. So if you are having any issues, if you know anyone having any issues, just tell them to go to our page, Black Directory, largest Black business directory, and click on the link that's live. Click on videos and click on the link that's live, and that'll get everything going there as well. So welcome to all the members. Welcome to all the members that's coming on. This is good stuff. Are y'all ready to learn? I tell you, Seretha, I've been hearing a lot of great feedback, and I've been getting a lot of individuals that they just need some information. They need to learn. They need to understand how to utilize this. What are the next steps? What they should be doing? What they should not be doing? Excuse me. A lot of those questions. So we'll be going over some of those there as well. Also, so we actually had quite a few individuals that responded, and quite a few individuals that have been reaching out. So this is the exciting part. So I really want to go over some of their questions here that they actually asked and that they're asking. You know, a ton of people want to buy trucks. So if you actually sell trucks, this is actually good. If you sell trucks out there, send me an email. Send us an email at info@blackdirectory.com. info@blackdirectory.com. If you sell semi-trucks, I cannot tell you how many people are reaching out to us, making us aware that they actually need to purchase a truck. So this is really, really good. And Ty, so if you can give me one more time, if you could drop that link down in the chat. I think I'm going to resend it out to our members here, and also to our non-members, that we actually had a change in the link. And so that would make sure that everyone actually gets the updated link as they come onto the page here, once you drop it down in the chat. So again, welcome to everybody that's joining us on YouTube. And we definitely have many, many more that will be joining us. And go ahead, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and place your information down in the chat, where you're from, your business name, what you do, and give us a little bit more information about who you are. We want to be active in the chat and just really learn. So I see someone here, one of our members, Terrence Wilson, over in Dallas. How's it going, sir? Man, it's hot over there in Dallas. God bless you all. It's definitely frying. So definitely, anybody else, so definitely go ahead and drop your information over in the chat there, and then we'll be going back and forth with you on that. And as I grab the information here on our end, I'm going to be sending out the updated link there as well. That way we'll have it. So let's get ready to get started. As I work on some of these details behind the scenes, this is really, really good. And again, welcome to everyone that's actually on Facebook. Welcome to you all as well. This is actually our first time on this particular scenario, actually broadcasting on Facebook. So glad to have you all as well. Feel free to like and share the broadcast there also. And again, we have an updated link. So this broadcast on YouTube is actually going to end in about 30 minutes. So if you actually if you actually want to obviously watch the rest of it, make sure you click on the link and just join us on YouTube right now. Go ahead and join us on YouTube right now, because we're going to end the stream on Facebook here in about 30 minutes, which is really good. So good to see everybody typing in. I see Stephanie Green. She said, hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie Green with Clarkstone Trucking. Also, if you have some trucks, let us know how many trucks you have down in the chat as well. So if you're a trucking company, you have trucks, if you have flatbeds, what else they need? Well, you can't speak just yet, Seretha. But if you got trucks, flatbeds, whatever you have with your company, let us know what type of trucking or logistical company that you have, so that way we can actually connect with you as well which is great. So let's get this party started right. Let's make this happen here. Let's make this happen as get ready to introduce our speaker here on today. Obviously, some of you have seen her before, and I'll tell you, Seretha, as we actually have been marketing this out, a lot of individuals have actually been going back and watching some of your old videos. And see, they've actually been really, really excited about those, and I've been seeing the numbers creep up and actually go up for some of the old videos there as well. So that's been really, really good to see the individuals that are actually grabbing to that information there also, as they are also here ready to learn about what we're going to talk about today. As we talked last week, Seretha, we got some great plans on what we're going to be doing. So I really can't wait for our next session as well. And so that one's going to be really, 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 really good one there as well there also. So really good stuff. So let's do this. Again, everyone, welcome that's actually coming in. And welcome to YouTube, welcome to Facebook. Again, place your company's information down in the chat. So I want to go ahead and actually introduce our speaker, and so that we go ahead and get started with that. So our speaker today is Miss Seretha Willingham, who is the founder and CEO of SJW Logistics, a multi-million-dollar third-party logistics company. She currently owns a fleet of semi-trucks and leases a 22,000 square foot warehouse located in Atlanta, Georgia, ATL. Man, I was just down there last month for my birthday. Seretha started with the purchase of one semi-truck and quickly learned the art of dispatching. Then she used her knowledge to grow SJW Logistics fleet to over 14 trucks. She's also leased a warehouse and started offering order fulfillment services to become a multi-service 3PL. And what is really unique about Seretha's company is that she's able to store customers' products, transport it to distributors, and ship individual consumer orders all under one invoice. She'll tell us more about that, whatever that means. No other company offers warehousing, e-fulfillment, and fleet services for small to medium businesses at an affordable price like SJW. So all of this is great. So again, welcome, Ms. Seretha Willingham. How are you doing on today?
I am doing wonderful. Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you here on today. So this is really, really great. Good. Obviously, we've been had a couple different sessions. So this is a great one here again. So before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself. Obviously, I gave you a little intro there, but tell us a little bit more about yourself and about your company and about what you've been doing.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Seretha Willingham, and I am the founder and CEO of SJW Logistics. As Brian said, we are a full service 3PL. We have semi trucks over the road. We have a warehouse, and we also do order fulfillment services. So we do a little bit of everything for our customers to make ends meet, and we target small to medium sized businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, which is good. So just give them a little rundown. So of course, some individuals have actually watched the other two segments that we've done, but give us a little background on how you, as a young Black woman, got into the trucking business and why the trucking business of all industries. Why trucking? Why not? So we got a lot of people in the hair industry and everything else, but why did you pick trucking?
It was something that was very interesting for me. I've always aspired to be in the logistics industry. I always thought about owning some semi trucks, even from when I was like 18 years old. But then once I started working in supply chain and then moved over to a previous company I worked for, XPO Logistics, which is a full service 3PL, I was able to see everything from top down, and that really gave me the opportunity to see that I could do it. Sometimes the bigger companies intimidate you where you think you can't do something, and then once you see what they actually do and how they got there, you're like, oh, I could do that. And that gave me the push to go ahead on and get started.
Excellent. So that gave you the push to get started. You saw other people were doing, you realized, hey, it's not as hard as what it looked like. I can probably do this too.
Yes.
No, and so what's the part about trucking that you love the most? What's the most exciting part about it?
I think the part that I love the most is talking with my drivers. Sometimes the phone, I get to pick up the phone and answer and ask them how they're doing and how they're going. It's just being able to look. We have forward-facing cameras in all our trucks, so being able to look to see. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the road with them because I can see the different states that they're in. It feels like I'm riding. I can see the different views, and it's like a peace of mind. But just being able to talk to my drivers, get that feedback, and hear how much of a difference my company is making in their lives, and that they're able to support their families with my company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, well, but you also just made us aware that you can spy on your drivers too, no matter where they are, huh?
Well, it's more so to protect the company because
I like that. That's a great answer. We're just trying to
yes,
protect you.
for those heavy footers that like to pull out in front of semi trucks and hit brakes. That's what we have those cameras for.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. No, without a doubt. And this is a question I don't think I remember asking you. How far around the country does your drivers go?
We actually go to all 48 states. So we have drivers,
Okay.
not all of them, but some of them don't limit themselves. Wherever you say go, they'll go.
Okay. So now, do you all go to Alaska?
No, you can't go to Alaska.
You can't. You can't. You can go through. Can't you go through Canada to get to Alaska?
No. So the way the interstate, well, I'm trying not to get too deep into it,
Sure.
explaining what it is, but you get what you call your IRP, which is your plate. So the plates are set for 48 states. Canada is included, but not Alaska.
Okay, Canada's included, not Alaska. No problem. No, I was what I like to watch Ice Truckers, and I don't know. Do you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that show. It's a nerve-wracking. They're driving the thousands and thousands of pounds of trucks over ice, and it's a crazy show. And a lot of times they're up in Canada and actually driving over lakes that have been frozen. So which is the crazy part. All right, so let's get into it. So of course, the first session that we did the first session and we actually discussed dispatching, which we're going to talk about today here as well. So along with that, so tell us some of the things that happened in your first session from dispatching and what you have learned and what you think some of your students have learned.
The first session with dispatching was really great. The students really learned that, the biggest fear with anything when it's getting started, especially in the logistics industry, which is a male-dominated industry, is what to say, how do I talk, what do I say, is having that initial conversation. So with the first class, mostly all the students told me I took that fear out because we had live drivers come in and talk to them and tell them what they look for in a dispatcher, and they realize these are humans just like we are.
Mm-hmm. No, without a doubt. So did anyone how's that class working? Because you had a lot of people sign up. Are you still in contact with those individuals? What's the process with those individuals now?
Yes, we are still in contact. We have a private Facebook group, 5-Day Dispatch Challengers, I think it's called. And it's 5-Day Dispatch Challenge, but it's a private group where everyone that was in the class was able to join that group. And I talk with them almost daily, asking them questions. If we have opportunities that come available, I try to give them leads. So anything that we can do to help them get their dispatching company going and keep it going.
Okay, good. So you're in constant contact with them.
Yes.
No, good. So who's the superstar? Anyone, and you don't have to give a name per se, but you can tell us who they are. But is anyone stand out from that class that really took your information and really did something with it, and you've seen the difference?
I have a couple of superstars from that class, actually, because there are some people that are private message me and ask me questions or ask me for opportunities and different things. But I have this one student that she really took it. She set up emails. She hired dispatchers under her. So she started out from day one growing her company. So
okay.
She really stood out to me. I'm like, oh, you get it. You get that you don't have to do all the dispatching. You can hire someone to do it for you.
Okay, and so did she just get started with her company, or was she already in business when she started working with?
She had started the process of setting up a dispatching company, but she was looking for training at the time. So we were able to help her redirect some of the way she was setting up her business, but go ahead on and get started as well.
Okay, good stuff. And so what are some of the things that you are seeing as you're dealing with some of the trucking companies that you feel like, hey, they really need to make these adjustments, because everybody, of course, is excited. They want to get into the business. And one of the things that I learned in business is unfortunately, people don't always do their homework or research. And sometimes we got an idea, we got a dream, we got a vision. Hey, I'm just going to go and do this. But what are some of the mistakes that you're seeing that the individuals that you've been working with since you started this, that they're making, that you think they should start doing something different?
Well, first, I'll start out by saying that, I got into the business. I did research, but I made a lot of mistakes too. So,
Sure.
that it was, as I look back, I always say I see things that I could have did differently. I could have came in differently. And that's my goal today is, and in my teachings is to educate people to do your research, learn all the different lines of business in this industry. So that's one thing. If people learn the different lines of businesses in this industry, they will be able to pick which one will work best for them, because there's so many ways to come into the trucking industry.
No, this is good. All right, so really quickly, everybody over on YouTube, thank you all for joining us. So I see a lot of individuals there say I got 2 box trucks, I do insurance, I do bonding, I got 4 trucks. So everybody that's joining, thank you for joining us. Please, right now, I'm going to stop right now before we go along. I need everybody to like the page. So there's a thumb up button down at the bottom. I need everybody to click on it right now. We're going to take about 30 seconds. Everybody click on the thumbs up button. Excited to have you all on. Excited to have you all with us. And if you have not subscribed to the page, go ahead and subscribe to the page. And if you know a couple of trucking companies, we haven't gotten into it yet. We're about to really get into it. If you know a couple of trucking companies that you think this would be really good for them, go ahead and share that information with them now. Let them know that we have a great, excellent Black woman-owned trucking business that's actually talking about some dispatching today. We'll be talking about some other elements there also. So go ahead and like the page. Go ahead and subscribe to the page there as well. Excited to have you all on. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions down in the chat. We'll be getting to your questions there as well, which is really, really good. So with that being said, so today, obviously, let's talk about, of course, the training program that you did from last time there as well. So that was a 3-month training program that you did?
We're currently still in it. I had a session today where we did session 3 on customers, but it was called Freight Broker Group Coaching, where I'm working with a small set. We wouldn't allow more than 10 people in the class because I wanted to be able to get one-on-one attention. And they're learning how to become a freight broker or a freight broker agent and get into the industry. And the freight broker and agents, the freight brokering industry side, that's another multi-billion-dollar industry in the logistic industry that people can enter into.
Okay, excellent. Another, so it's so much, right? It's so much. It's so much. It's so much. All right, so let's get into this. So today, obviously, we want to talk a lot about this dispatching, but down the road, we also really want to talk about partnering. That's so important that our businesses are actually partnering so that we can actually go after larger contracts and see how we can do business on a larger scale here as well. So first we talked about dispatching, we talked about freight brokering, then you also, of course, had the class there. And so now we're back at dispatching. So what was it about dispatching you decided, hey, let's jump back into this subject here again with dispatching?
Well, because so many people are buying trucks now, whether they're box trucks or semi trucks, but they're missing excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was trying to hold that sneeze for y'all.
Oh, you're good. You know what they say, in the TV world, when you sneeze when you're live on air, that means you're just too comfortable. That's what they say. You're too comfortable. That's what it is. That's what they say. You're too relaxed. So you're too chilled out. That's what it is.
Yes. But so many people they buy a truck or they buy a box truck. So many people are coming into the trucking industry, but one thing they look for is dispatchers. Like I say, I was with the company. I knew all about that, but it didn't click to me when I bought my one truck and got started that, hey, you need to know how to dispatch that truck. Because it was like, well, how do I find loads for the truck? And I get calls and messages all the time saying, do you have any loads you can dispatch to it? And so dispatching is very critical. It's the core, it's the basic level of entry, but it teaches you everything about the industry and is needed. Like you can't do anything, you can't get around dispatching.
Okay, so now your company, of course, you're a dispatcher, right? Dispatching company. How can you begin to work together with other dispatching companies?
Well, we actually don't work with other dispatching companies. We do dispatch for other logistics and transportation companies if as needed. We do have an application you have to fill out to see if they're a good fit for our model and how we dispatch. But we also work with them to grow their companies as well, teach them things to get to the next level. But we have our own internal operations manager that dispatches our trucks.
Okay, good. No, which is really good. So do dispatchers partner in this business? Is that something that you've seen, or that's not a thing really?
Repeat that question for me again.
Do dispatching companies, do they partner with other dispatching companies?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because the one thing that why dispatching companies are needed is because they have access to carriers. A lot of carriers will sign up with a dispatching company to help find them loads because they don't have time to find loads and drive
Right.
and pick up and deliver. So, and other companies are partnering because they can share carriers.
No, that is a good thing. So, which is good because we have some dispatching companies. I've had some phone calls this week with some individuals with their trucking companies. We have a lot of companies that have 1 or 2 trucks. A lot of these things here as well, and so it's so important to just kind of see where everyone is. What would you say to a company that's already started? They have a couple of trucks already. Maybe they have 1 or 2 trucks, maybe 3 trucks. Why should they get into dispatching? Is it a good idea for them to get into dispatching as well?
If they have 1 or 2 trucks, it just depends on the route they want to go. If they can hire a dispatching company to dispatch those 1 or 2 trucks so they can focus on growing their company. Again, the purpose of when it comes to hiring dispatching companies, you want to, if you're the manager or the owner, you want to relieve yourself of that day-to-day tactical work so you can focus on getting to the next level.
Okay, no, without a doubt. So that you focus on getting to the next level. Now,
Mhm.
this is good. So tell everybody, for those that don't understand, what is dispatching? Why is it important? And why should individuals want to get into the industry?
So dispatching is connecting a carrier to a broker or a shipper or a manufacturer. You're going out, you're researching and looking for the freight the type of freight that carrier hauls, and you're able to book that load for them on their behalf or act as that company so they can have work, because that's what dispatchers do. They find work for the carriers.
Okay, no, without a doubt. Uh, Obviously, the work is important. So, of course, we have coming up here in a couple of days. Of course, you're going to be doing a 5-day challenge, right? Coming up very soon. And everyone, before I jump into that, I do want to say hello to everyone on Facebook. Again, this is our first time streaming in a while on Facebook. We actually used to do these every week. Every Wednesday used to do these, but we actually made some changes. But and I want to talk about also why we started the member hosted Zoom call. We started these member hosted Zoom calls not just to promote Black Directory, but Black Directory, obviously, a great organization that we work with here. But we also want to promote our members because we realize we have some great members doing some great things around the country and around the world that many of you have never heard of. And one of the things that I'm on a mission of is to make sure, and thank you, Milton, for just becoming a new member. Excited to have you as a new member of Black Directory. But one of the things I want to say that's important, it's important that that you all become aware of the great Black-owned businesses that are out there. And then also, even for all of our members that are listening, it's important that we no longer be the best kept secret, right? No longer be the best kept secret. So this is when me and Travis actually traveled down to Atlanta and sat with Seretha, and she took us around her warehouse and her entire operation. I was extremely impressed. And but she's just a Black woman doing her thing down in Atlanta. Some people know about it, but we realized, hey, more people need to know you. More people need to know your story. And we want to do what we can to expose your story to more individuals. And so this is why we do our member hosted Zoom call. And we have many other members coming right behind Seretha as well that have great products, great services that we're going to be talking about and actually sharing with our members and non-members as well. So welcome to everybody on YouTube. Everybody again on Facebook. Facebook, you got about 3 minutes. We're going to shut the live down over there. If you're on Facebook, there's going to be the link there in your post. Go ahead and click on that link so you can join us on YouTube. We're just going to stream on YouTube. We're going to shut Facebook down here in just a second. We got about 3 minutes. We're going to be shutting it down. So while we're doing that, before we shut it down, let's talk about this challenge that you have coming up. And 5-day challenge, man, these 5-day challenges are so great. So let's talk about the 5-day challenge that you have coming up and what it's all about and how individuals can actually get involved into this upcoming 5-day challenge.
Sure. So what our 5-day dispatch challenge, what's unique about it is that it's 5 days, 1 hour a day of your time. It goes Monday through Friday. And we will be teaching you how to enter the trucking industry through dispatching. But not only in teaching you how to enter it, yes, we're going to talk about business setup, but I don't like to spend a whole lot of time on business setup for stuff you can, Google and YouTube. I'm going to give you all the documents you need to set up your contracts and service agreements and all that good stuff to get that out the way, get all the administrative stuff out of the way. Because what my focus is to have us doing live calls and role playing by the end of the call, so you've eliminated that fear. So you can go ahead and start dispatching as soon as you get out of class if all your business is set up, because I'm going to give you leads in the class. I'm going to tell you how you find people to dispatch. So it's a really great class because it's really hands-on. And you're getting a lot of information and things that I know others are not giving you. You may have to pay for another class to get that stuff, but we're going to give it all to you in 5 days.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Khadijah, if you could go ahead and place the link down in the chat over in YouTube, the link for the 5-day challenge, place that down over there in YouTube. And also, if you, go ahead and place it. And also, Ty, if you could actually place that link inside of the description as well. For the 5-day challenge, place that inside the description. And matter of fact, let me just add this link here for you so that we have it. I'm going to place it down in the chat. So this is good. So you have day 1, you have 5 days. So tell us what you're going to be discussing if you have it in front of you. Actually, I'll share my screen. Well, actually, can't share my screen right now. Do you have it in front of you? What you'd be talking about on some of those days?
Yes. So on the first day, we talk about, understanding the equipment types and e-laws and guidelines and different things you need to know as a dispatcher. You don't need to be able to do it, because that's the one thing I tell people. Dispatching, the beauty of it, you don't have to do it. You don't have to, you're not the driver, you're not loading the truck. So I love that about dispatching. Once you book that load, the rest is in the driver's hands.
The rest
so
is in.
Day 2 will be talking about, knowing the type of dispatch you want to be. It's all kind of freight out there to dispatch. If you are well versed with the industry, you can take on more than one line of freight. But if you're not, I always encourage people start at one and then grow. And then we talk about the money, getting paid, setting your rates, the invoices, negotiating rates. Dispatchers do have to negotiate rates for the drivers. They have to be able to try to keep 2 people happy, the broker and the driver. So you have that. Then when we get into day 4 and 5, we do the role playing. We have drivers come on, carriers. I let them hear from different types of drivers, owner operators versus company drivers versus carriers. So it's very detailed in what we share over those 5 days.
No, without a doubt. So this is good. And I love that, because you discuss negotiations. And, there's so many people that are uncomfortable with negotiating. They're so uncomfortable with the idea of having to push back and say no, or what about this price? And so that's something that you cover with how to negotiate with the drivers and how to negotiate the contracts.
Yes. The thing about it is, dispatcher will have to know, what rates are, what the lanes are. You got to be reasonable. And one thing that carriers or owner operators look for is honest dispatchers. So you're only going to be able to negotiate so much. It is what it is, but being honest with your carrier can go a long way.
Talk about that. And again, Facebook, we're actually getting ready to shut this down here in just a second, but we actually want to place that link up there for you so that you all that actually on Facebook that want to join the challenge. And when is the challenge? What days does it start on?
It starts on Monday, September the 12th, and goes from September the 12th through September the 16th.
September the 12th through the 16th. So this upcoming Monday, so in about 3 days. And I can't stress enough, everyone, even if you don't need dispatching, let's say if you're on this line, you got 10 trucks, 15 trucks, but you're looking for a partner. I can't stress enough how important sometimes it is to just pay for something so that you can actually gain access to individuals. So this is a great time. As we've mentioned from the beginning, she's still in contact with many of those individuals from her first session that we did back in July. So she's still in contact with them, working with them, seeing exactly what they're doing. Why? Because they paid for her 5-day challenge and they developed a relationship. Now they're working together. So if you're looking at ways, how can I get in contact with Seretha? Don't try to go around the process, say, give me an email address. No, go ahead and join in on the 5-day challenge. Take the 5-day challenge. And because what's going to happen is, even if you have a lot of trucks, you may learn something that you don't know that she's actually doing with her company that you can begin to do with your company there as well. So take that challenge there. Again, actually, the link again is over in the description. And also the link is over in the chat area as well over on YouTube. And so that way, if you all actually want to go ahead and take advantage of that, you can take advantage of that. And so Ty, 1 minute, go ahead and shut down the Facebook in 1 minute. And everybody would just be on YouTube here. So, which is good. So you have that coming up, the 5-day challenge. You have them understanding dispatching. and you have them understanding obviously how this can work together. So, but I have to ask the questions for someone has a question. I'm going to ask this really quickly. What is hold on, Willie, I'm going to hold that question because there's a question I just thought about. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned something. You mentioned that some dispatchers can be dishonest. Tell me about the dishonest and dishonest dispatcher. This is a world I don't know anything about. So tell me about that.
You know, in this industry, there's a lot of pressure put on you. Brokers put a lot of pressure on you. Drivers put a lot of pressure on you, and you're just wanting to be successful. It's innocent sometimes, but you just want to be successful. That driver wants you to get this rate, and what I've seen a lot of dispatchers lie about is the rate that's being paid. And then when once the driver done picked up the load, or as soon as they get the rate con and it's committed to them, they say this is not the rate we agreed to. You know, so being honest is very key, because again, you're partnering with that driver, and you have to earn their trust, because at the end of the day, they're looking at it. I'm trusting you to make sure you keep me with work to be able to provide for my family and maintain.
So wait a minute. Is this in a contract? Or, you know, do they actually write this down in the contract? This is one rate, and then they actually tell them verbally it's a different rate?
Yes, when dispatchers are talking to brokers and they know they drivers want a certain rate, they may guarantee just to get business from that driver, they can get those rates. And then when it comes time to actually get them, they don't have them.
Oh my goodness. So that's pretty crazy. So that's good to know. See, because obviously we don't want things like that to happen. And so we want to show individuals obviously how to make money the correct way within the industry. And you know, I've talked to some individuals that are just getting started in the industry. And so let's talk to the individuals who are on the line and who are on the Zoom, who are thinking about, say, hey, I want to get into the trucking industry, but I want to first go and buy a couple of trucks. I talked to several of them this week. What do you have to say to those who are just getting started and is in a new industry, but they're thinking about buying a truck versus doing dispatching?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with buying a truck, but you're going to have to know how to dispatch, or you're going to have to hire a dispatching company. So my advice would be learn dispatching, because that's going to determine, you know, what you do with your trucks, so many people go buy trucks and they say, hey, I got a truck, but I don't have a trailer, or I don't have a driver to put it, or I have a driver in a truck, but I don't know how to get loads. So if you learn dispatching, you will learn how to get loads, what load boards to use. You will learn how to book your own loads for your own trucks.
Book your own load. And, you know, we talked about this before, the idea of, you know, it's obviously getting into dispatching, the overhead is low. And so just like I talked to someone earlier today, she was just, you know, she's actually in Georgia as well. And she was just getting started, and she just started in May. And she was looking at purchasing a truck for $150,000. She was doing her research. And but understanding, you know, the right direction on getting into a new industry and not having those relationships and connections, why should she potentially start out in dispatching versus going and purchase a $150,000 truck and gaining all of that overhead and debt?
Again, dispatching is going to teach you all parts of the industry. It's going to teach you what the brokers do, what shippers, manufacturers expect. It's going to teach you what drivers expect, because you'll get to work with different drivers. It's going to let you, mainly that you see the driver pool, because if you think about driving a truck, you're going to be dealing with some of those same drivers or driver types that you're dispatching for. So dispatching is going to allow you to touch on everything and get to know the industry, and you'll have a better plan. If you're new to the industry, it's more to it than buying a truck and putting a driver in it. But I know that's what the logistics streets tell you to do. You can make a lot of money if you buy a truck and put a driver in it, but it's so much more to it. And before you go make that big investment, I would definitely recommend, you know, learning how to dispatch, because again, you're going to need it when you buy that truck anyway.
That's the stuff they don't tell us about on these Facebook and Instagram and YouTube streets, right? Everybody's like, let's just, you know, because trucks is sexy these days. There's about everybody like, I'm going to get me a truck. And but now understanding that point that you just made, that is so key. Either way it goes, even if they do buy the truck, they're going to understand they need to understand how to do dispatch.
Yes.
No, that is so key. All right, so I have a question here from Willie that I want to ask you. Willie says, and Willie's a new member, so welcome again, Willie. Willie said, what is a fair pay for dispatcher?
A fair pay, so it's up to you. There's an average pay that dispatchers before COVID was charging 5 to 10%. Now I know a lot of dispatchers are charging anywhere from 10 to 15%. It just depends on what all the services you include in your dispatching, which is something we cover in the class that I told people, because we have a little bit of everything on our side, so I can go ahead on and get some things clarify for them, like, if you're going to charge 15%, you need to list out what's included in that 15%.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting. That's actually a really good question. Will, again, the link is down in the chat. I think that might be great for you to click on that, and also obviously take the challenge there also. So that's good. So, but there's a going rate, but of course you can always negotiate it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
you
this
can always negotiate. Sometimes, drivers have multiple trucks, and if you want to charge, the good thing about it, you could charge per truck you dispatch.
Okay, listen, there's now, tell everyone again, because we didn't cover, well, we covered this a little bit in the beginning, how many different areas of logistics and transportation your company is actually in?
I always tell people about the main four that they're most familiar with, which is the warehousing, freight brokerage, fleet transportation, and order fulfillment, the pick and pack. But there are other areas that we also do as well, because like I said, we do have carriers we dispatch for, and we also do compliance, new trucking companies coming on compliance. There's so many ways to enter the industry, so there's so many different things you do.
No, that's the key point about this, again, because we're going from dispatching to freight brokering, and then also you did a training course, and the next time, everyone, I cannot wait for the next time, because that's what I'm here for. The next one, we're really going to be discussing some ideas of how we all can really work together on an ongoing basis, which is really key. But everyone, this, again, if you are on the fence thinking about it, I can't stress enough, I just say it all the time, this is a great way to begin to develop the relationship, even if you are further along or if you're just getting started. Learn this new industry, learn this aspect of the business, especially if you're just getting started. When I started one of my companies, I took 6 months to do research before we got started. And that was one of the things that really helped set us apart, because we were able to figure out what our competition was doing, what we needed to do, what they were doing, and everything else. So that way we're not just jumping out cold and just trying to figure it out on the way down, which is good. So again, the 5-day challenge is coming up on this Monday. And so now you talked about a couple of those items that you'll be speaking about, and on the day 1. So what is day 4 and what is day 5? Did you touch on those?
Yes, day 4 and day 5 are, like I said, the live role playing. We have live drivers come in, tell their point of view, tell what they expect of a dispatcher. They give advice to the class, and they pretty much become the class mentors.
So who are you bringing in, other individuals?
Yes, I bring in drivers.
Okay.
Drivers they would actually be dispatching for, so they can learn what drivers expect.
No, so you're doing these things live and in the training. So that is so key. And so everyone, again, this is a young lady. She's doing millions of dollars in revenue in the trucking industry. These are the types of individuals we should be learning from. There are a lot of individuals online talking about these issues and these items, but she's actually doing it. She has the warehouses to show it. And of course, she has the trucks to show for it as well, which is really good. So this is good. So now, as we deal with everything, again, everyone, if you have any questions, place them down in the chat. So everybody was looking for the link. The link again is over inside of the chat. There's a couple of links there. You can actually go ahead and click on them. And there's one, if you just see the one, and again, Ty, just go ahead and place it down in the description area as well. That way everyone can grab it and take advantage of it. But this is so good. Again, yes. So a couple of, if you have any questions, go ahead and place them down. I see individuals that have 2 trucks, have 4 trucks, have all of that. They're all across the country. I see someone in Chattanooga. They have some trucks. I see Columbia, South Carolina. I see individuals here from Fort Lauderdale. Welcome, Fort Lauderdale. I see Clearwater. Man, Clearwater is beautiful. If you all have never been to Clearwater, let me just tell you, if you've never been to Clearwater, do yourself a favor and go down to Clearwater, one of the most, and I'm from Florida, I'm from Orlando, one of the most beautiful places in the state. Oh man, it's so beautiful. Have you been there before?
No, I don't think so. Sounds like something I might have passed through.
Oh, no, you have to go to Clearwater. I mean, the beach there is absolutely beautiful, and so that's really good. So welcome everybody. This actually from Clearwater. I see Virginia on the line, Dallas, Texas. Welcome. Maryland is here as well. Also, and so I have another question here. It said, should we get a job as a dispatcher first before joining your course?
That would be up to the individual because, getting a job as a dispatcher, you could get training there or you could join the course. It depends on what that person is trying to do. Are they trying to start their own dispatching company? Or are they trying to dispatch, get hired on with the company and become a dispatcher? Either way, my class will cover it.
Great. So Josephine, I hope you got that answer. If you want to drop some other details down in the chat, you can do that there as well, which is good. So I see, man, this is good. I see someone again in Baltimore. I have 3 trucks. Someone else says, I'm interested in freight brokering. Let's touch on freight brokering. Let's touch on freight brokering here just a second, because we talked about freight brokering last time, and I love what the individual here just said, that they're interested in freight brokering. So touch on that a little bit, why that is important, along with the dispatching as well.
Well, with most freight brokers end up having to be dispatchers as well. So dispatcher can be, a freight broker can be a dispatcher as well, but a dispatcher cannot be a freight broker without the proper licenses. So the difference is with a freight broker, it requires licenses. Dispatcher does not. And one thing, either or, I keep admiring your picture in the background because
you like my pictures? You like my pictures? I made it just for you.
If everyone is familiar with the supply chain shortage and shipping issues, they know that even though rates across the U.S. have dropped for flatbed and dry van, but that intermodal that you have behind you, that's money. All I see is money behind you.
You see a bunch of money behind me?
Yes, I see money behind you.
I like it. Sometimes it's falling out of my pocket, but you see it behind me, so this is good.
Yes, as a freight broker or a dispatcher, you could make some money. You get the right customer with that intermodal lane. And like I said, we do brokering on intermodal. We do dispatching for outside carriers on intermodal, and we do intermodal ourselves right here in Georgia. And I can tell you, just on the dispatching side, we set our rate at 10%, and we booked 1 week worth of load. The driver only did 4 loads, and his invoice was $630 for dispatching. So it can add up on the intermodal side.
No, this is good. So Willie asked another question. Said, do you have a 5-day broker challenge? What we just did that one last time, correct?
No, we have a freight broker group coaching. We don't have a 5-day broker challenge. We may come up with that if we have enough demand for it, but brokering is it's a bit in depth.
Yeah, it's a lot going on with that.
Yes.
Now, what's the difference between? Okay, I'm a novice here. What's the difference between brokering and freight brokering?
Brokering and freight brokering. Well, brokering, anybody can broker. You have finance brokers, real estate brokers. So, but we're talking about freight broker. You're dispatching. I'm sorry, you're brokering general goods or household goods.
Okay, all right. So everyone, everyone again, if you have any questions, definitely place them down in the chat, which is really good. And so again, Justice says. Okay, so someone's actually talking over here in the chat here. What is your brokerage company name? Do you have a separate company name for your brokerage company?
Yes, SJW Brokerage.
Okay. Now
all things SJW.
All things SJW. No, so the key, I think the key is, Willie, is to just really kind of get going with her on this challenge here, even if you're already doing a good job of this. Because again, we want to develop relationships, and now definitely that you're a member, develop relationships with other individuals and with Seretha, so that you can actually begin to walk together with her on all of her processes that she's doing. You hear her say I got all this money behind me, and so she want to show you how to go and get all this extra money within your business there as well. And so this is really good. Me and actually Willie, we had a great question here, a great conversation, I should say, earlier today. And so I actually want to get the two of you together. So we'll talk about that here a little bit later. So this is good. So we got dispatching, got freight brokering. What are some of the other areas, outside of dispatching and freight brokering? What are some of the other areas of logistics and transportation that are maybe like low-hanging fruit, or areas that people really don't get into that you think they should be getting into?
Well, one is, I talk about it all the time, is compliance. A lot of people are coming into the industry, these 1-man and 3-man shows, but there's so much with the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse and how long to keep your records and how to pass your first safety audit, and just being able to maintain laws, how to properly document laws when you're in violation. That's all compliance, getting your annual inspections and what you have to have on e-log file when you have some issues. So I tell people all the time, you can come in the industry and be a compliance manager or compliance consultant for transportation companies and help them get set up the correct way. So that way, when they get to their first audit, they can pass it with flying colors. And when they're getting stopped through weigh station and by DOT, they can pass those with flying colors because you're giving them all the tools they need to be compliant with federal standards.
And are you in compliance? Do you do that particular portion? Excellent. Yes. You're doing everything over there. You're doing everything.
Well, we have a compliance manager that we train to do consulting, so we refer them to her.
Refer them to her. That's good. So if your company is in compliance, if your company deals with compliance, place that information down in the chat. And Kadisha, just keep sharing the link. And everyone, again, if you want to sign up, go ahead and actually click on the link. The link is in the description. So if you click on the description, the link is right there. And also it's in the chat as well. So Kadisha, just keep placing the link down in the chat every few minutes there. So that way we have it there. Also, place it down in the YouTube chat there if you can, Kadisha. Thank you so much. So this is good. So I have another question. And actually, I want to get into, I'm going to pull up, we had quite a few individuals that actually registered for this event. And a lot of individuals had a lot of great information, a lot of great questions. So I'm going to get into that. All right. So Travis, we're having a few issues. If you listen, Travis, we're having a few issues with the link in registering. So I just got that message a couple of times. So we may have to recreate something else so they can actually place it over there. So we'll just hang on a little while. So I do have another question here for you, Seretha. It says, Brian, can you ask her about transloading and warehousing? So if you could actually give me more details, Sanja, on what you're actually looking for, that would be great. This is actually another good member. These are some of these members here actually that are placing information in the chat, or some individuals that I want to get you in contact with, which is actually really good. I like what Terrence said. Terrence says some brokers and shippers would not work with new authorities until your company has aged a minimum of 90 days. So, we talked about the idea that, I really want to get into our next session, because I keep trying to avoid asking you some of these questions that we're going to do on our next session, because I can't wait for that one. But it's so important, because obviously everyone is always trying to recreate everything. Everybody needs carriers, they need shippers, they need all these different lanes, they need everything. But explain, as you are dealing with dispatching, why it's important for them to want to connect with you, as you're already dealing with many of these different areas and arenas that a lot of our, especially new companies, are trying to get inside of.
Well, that's one thing about it. When you are connected with someone that's already in the industry, they can give you leads. They can make things a whole lot easier for you starting out, than versus you trying to do it by yourself. It's also a way to network with me and my company, because we do have a lot of connections. We've been doing this for a while. And then even if we don't, you tell us what direction you're trying to go. One thing we do in class is we set up goals and vision. So I want to know everyone in the class goal and vision, because by the end of the class, I want to be able to make sure we cover how they're going to get there.
How they're going to get there. Are you mentoring any individuals?
Yes. I have individuals I'm mentoring, from starting dispatching companies to starting trucking companies, and my highest clientele that I mentor is getting into warehousing. Warehousing is very popular, and I think I kind of know what the person was asking about transloading.
Okay, so yeah, good.
It relates to that money picture behind you.
Let me move out of the way. Back there, all the money back there, right?
Yes, it relates to that money. So transloading and warehousing is very popular in today's time, because you have all those nice containers behind you that come from overseas, and because of all the supply chain shortages and issues with ports, containers are shipping that may need to go to New York, but coming into Savannah, Georgia. That's a lot of money to move that container from Savannah to New York, but people do it. But people find cheaper options, what they call transload, where they unload the container and then put it on a van and then send it, which is much cheaper than that because all containers have time limitations on them.
Wait. So they'll get the container will be somewhere at the port. They'll unload the container, put it in not in a semi truck. They'll put it in a van.
They'll put it on the semi truck. We call them vans.
Oh, I was about to say
semi trucks carry. Yeah.
Okay. So they'll put it on the truck, and then that allows. What does that allow? What's the difference? Because I don't think I'm understanding the difference between the one way.
It saves the customer money. So it saves the customer money. Container costs a lot of money, and containers have time limit on them. They cost a lot of money because you have to give round trip rates when booking containers to pick them up, deliver, and return them. With a dry van on a semi truck, you only have to give a one-way rate. So customers are trying to save money.
Okay. No, this is good. All right, so good. So this is really, really good. No, that's and because again, it's so many ways to deal with it in these different industries, right? And there's so many ways to make money from it. This is why everyone, if you are needing a mentor, mentors are hard to come by. I say it all of the time. Mentors are hard to come by. It's hard to find them. So if you cannot find a mentor, sometimes it can take you years to find a mentor. So if you cannot find a mentor, find somebody like Seretha and pay them. Because they're going to give you a shortcut. They're going to save you years, time, money, and energy versus you trying to figure it out on your own. It's the difference of, you can go ahead and change your own oil, but how much time and money are you going to spend on doing that? Or you can go down the street, pay somebody, they change it for you for 20, 30 minutes, and you're on your way. Right? But no, you want to go to the store, you want to grab the tools, I got to grab the oil, I got to grab all this stuff, and I'm going to change oil. Now half of my Saturday is going because I want to save money and actually changing my own oil instead of just paying somebody else who can actually do it. So this is good. So are you open? Do you have any openings for any new mentees? How do you let me ask you, how do you deal with, and also everybody in the chat, place down in the chat if you are a mentor or if you're looking for a mentor in the trucking industry. So if you are mentoring individuals in the trucking industry, place that down in the chat. If you're looking for a mentor, and your mentee looking for a mentor, place that information down in the chat there as well. I want to see how many individuals that are actually looking. So because this is such a great point. When people come to you and they're looking for it, because sometimes people, they'll just come out and say, hey, I want you to be my mentor. But what's the proper way that people should come to you and looking for a mentor, and what's the wrong way?
So the proper way when you're coming looking for a mentor is to, one, know what you want to be mentored in, define that. The wrong way, which I have people do a lot, will say, I want to get into the trucking industry. How do I get started? And that's a quick way to end the call with me because again, there's so many different ways. Do some research. It's so much information out there. Do some research because not only do you want to know what you want to get started. I can't tell you how to get started if I don't know what you want to get started in. So take that first step in doing some research and then say, hey, I want to get started I'm looking at opening a warehouse, or I want to look at buying a box truck or a semi truck, or I want to start with this. Be specific when coming, and I can help you.
Because it's so important, because ultimately what happens is it comes across as they're not really serious. And because I get those questions as well. And the more I'm recognizing them, the more I'm just kind of ignore, especially if I get an email. If I get emails and they're like, tell me all about this. No, I'm not telling you anything. Because you're the type of individual that will waste people's time. And so everybody's time is limited on this earth, right? So we only have a certain amount of time. So what we have to do, we have to find individuals and work with individuals that we know that are serious. And so if you're not serious, and we've been doing this for a while, we'll pick it up right away. Like, this person here is here to waste my time. How soon can I get away from this person? You're thinking like that too, right? Like, how can I get out of this conversation?
It'd be one of those calls. Let me call you right back.
Hang tight. I'll call you right back.
I'll call you right back.
I've had some people like that. That's so interesting. So this is good. So a lot of people are mentioning. So yes, what are conditions are needed? I would love to have one as a mentor. You know, what type of credentials you're looking for to be a mentor. I'm looking for a mentor in trucking logistics industry. I'm interested in becoming a mentee. Someone says I'm seeking a mentor in warehousing. Somebody also said I did research in trucking warehouse for import and exports. Now that's a good one. We haven't really talked about that
money behind you.
That's that money back there, huh?
Yes, that's the money behind you.
I need to go back. I need to go back over there and get all that money over there. That's what that's what I need to do. So this is good. And then freight brokering, and yes, people say they're looking for a mentor. Many people looking for a mentor. So this is what I would say. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 of you that actually responded. Every single one of you should be in this class. Every single one of you should be in this 5-day challenge. Why? Because this is a cheat. This is a way to cheat to get her to be your mentor without her directly being your mentor. Because so talk about again, how many people are you mentoring?
Oh, it's a lot now. But I have 4 that are going through my consulting program where they do with me one-on-one. And like I say, you get to go online, book me directly through our website, where it has consulting. It's going to tell me what you're booking me for as well. So you got to know what you want to book me for consulting. And I have about 6 people that I talk to that stagger week over week.
So you talk to them how often? Like is it a scheduled call that you talking to them, or just whenever they call you?
It's a scheduled call. You can schedule a call. Some book me every week, and some book me every 2 weeks. Okay. What's I guess we'll talk about the actual coaching because a little bit later. But that is so key because again, which part do you enjoy? The mentoring part, the mentoring part. I enjoy the mentor when I'm seeing the progress and they're following. Like, I'm not one of those mentors just sit and answer questions. When you tell me what your goal is and what you're striving toward, I'm going to give you some tools and homework. So when you come back for the next section, we can say, okay, where we are. And I want to see it before the next session because I want to be prepared to guide you and say, okay, so if you say, hey, I want to get into warehousing, I'm going to give you some assignments to do before we meet again, because that's also going to tell me how serious you are if you're going to put in the work, because warehousing is putting in work.
Warehousing is putting in work. And that is so key. I love how people over here are selling themselves. This is so good. They're selling themselves. Best way to sell yourself is join this 5-day challenge, and then obviously you can start the relationship there. But this is so key. But that is so important. One of my mentors back in the day when I was actually doing life insurance, he actually said that to me. And when we first started, we jumped on the phone. We started talking. He said, "Hey, I want you to do these things here." He gave me a list of things to do, and I actually got this information. I wrote it down, and I went and I did it. Wrote everything down, emailed it back to him. When we got on the phone the next time, he was like, "You actually did it." Because so many people say they want to do something and they waste folks' time, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone, if you're listening, especially of course over on YouTube, if you're listening, one of the best ways to get someone's attention like this, especially if you need them to be your mentor or you want to work with them, is to actually do some follow through, because people want to see impact, right? It's great to make money. Everybody in the world wants to make money, but you can't take money with you when you die. Right. So how much impact can I have inside of you, and how much impact will you actually do if you follow up on what I'm saying? So that's so important. So you need individuals to follow up on what you're teaching.
Yes. And like I said, I'm not one of those people. If you book an hour session with me and I say we done in 30 minutes and you have work to go do, I'm not going to talk to you for the next 30 minutes to fill in the time. I'm going to say, go back and book me for the other 30 minutes. So no pay. I'm not going to charge you for it because you already paid for an hour, but I'm going to use your time effectively. This is my passion. This is my ministry. This is something I love doing. So I'm very passionate about it. That is
such a great point. That is such a great point, because again, this is how we all grow. So everyone that's here, again, welcome everybody that's here on YouTube. Excited to have you all as a part. Excited to have you all here. All of this is extremely important for us. But what's even more important is we need all of you all to grow. We need everybody that's listening, especially if you're new in the industry, you should definitely be on this 5-day challenge. Again, the link is in the description. So click on the description here on YouTube. The link is there, and the link is also in the chat information. Grab the link over there. So you should definitely be there. If you've been doing this for a while, you know, I love to hear people say, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. One of the things I learned, Seretha, is just because you've been doing something for a long time, don't mean you've been doing it right. It don't mean you've been doing it right. And so and especially if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, and you've had a hard time getting across $1 million in revenue, you should be definitely taking this 5-day challenge, even if it's an area that you feel like, hey, I have this down pack and I understand what I'm doing. No, let's learn some additional things, because it's going to allow you to develop a relationship with Seretha. And then next thing, if you've been doing it for a long time, one of the things that we're going to talk about on the next session. So if you have a lot of trucks and you're doing a great job, you're making millions of dollars in revenue, we do want to partner with you. So let's talk about that just for a second, because we talk about dispatching. Let's just for a smidget, let's talk about the idea of partnering with other companies, especially of scale, of size, and why you would like to partner with them and what areas you would like to partner with them on.
So with the trucking side, how we partner with people that already have trucks, especially owner operators, we allow them to lease onto our company and run on our authority. What that does is give you the benefit of being connected into our network, our freight. Most people that come into the industry, they buy a truck, but they're not able to get a trailer. Nobody will give them something to pull their loads with. So we have a network. We can get trailers from flatbeds to dry vans and even do intermodal. So that is one way we're partnering with other owner operators, is we allow them to lease onto our company.
Okay, so give me that one more time. So, because you use a couple words that I'm not familiar with. You call it modal, or what's that word?
Intermodal with the containers, the money picture behind you.
I'm about to learn these terms, because you keep telling me about all this money I got behind me that I don't know nothing about.
Yes.
No.
The drivers, let me call them drivers for you, that have their own trucks, they're known as owner operators. And when you buy it and get your own truck, you can lease on to companies to be able to run up under their authorities and, book loads. So we also allow our own owner operators to book their own loads. We don't do forced dispatching. We set goals. As long as they meet that goal every week, we don't have an issue with it.
All right, so I want to place this down in the chat. So for everybody that's over on YouTube again, welcome again. Excited to have you all. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to the page. We got some really, really great content that we're going to actually be bringing onto this channel. I got some great stuff we're going to be adding to this channel. So also make sure you like this page, like this this video as well. This just allows us to be seen by more individuals. So please just click the thumbs up if you love the content. And I love what Sabrina just said. This has been very beneficial. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Please click the thumb up there for this video. And then also, I'm going to ask a question in the chat. How many of you have signed up already? All right. How many of you have signed up for the 5-day challenge already? All right. So place that down in the chat if you have already signed up. And if you have any questions about the 5-day challenge, place that down in the chat here right now. And also, if you have any other questions that you want me to ask Seretha, and Seretha, we're a little over time, but how much more time do you have? We always go over a little bit.
I'm good. I'm actually free for the rest of the day.
Oh, well, we're going to take up all your time. just until the game starts tonight.
Okay.
No, this is good. All right, so this is good stuff. So the mentoring, obviously that's a big deal. Obviously, we got we talk about the dispatching, the warehousing, the port, I should say. All of that information. These are great things that people need to know about when going into business, and so which is really good. Right. So again, everyone, I see signed up. Great. How many more of you have actually signed up? This is going to be excellent, because we want to get you all connected. Want to get the reason why Black Directory exists. A little bit about Black Directory. The reason why Black Directory exists, it exists so we can help Black companies like this grow. And this is the thing that we talk to our members all of the time. Is it's important for you to grow a great Black-owned business, not just for yourself, but for yourself. The first order of business is always to get yourself out of the way. Make sure you can have enough money to take care of yourself and your family. Then the next thing is, now you have enough money to go and take care of the issues that deal with our community. All too often we're marching when we should just be pulling out that money out of our pocket and solving the problems ourselves, right? We should be going back here and getting his money right, getting his money behind me, and solving these problems in our community. We don't need to wait for a politician to answer to deal with these issues. It's not going to come from a mayor or president. It's going to come from our great Black-owned businesses that are on chats like this and on videos like this. So this is one great one here that we really want to see grow, and we want to see all of you all grow here as well. So what are some of the things that you want to share with the audience that you think that they should know about, whether it be about yourself, about the challenge, about just trucking? That's, because let me hold that question, because I really want to get back to this point. Talk about the people. Again, we touched on a little bit as well, but talk about the people who seem to be unprepared when they come to you and when they reach out to you, or just unprepared when they enter the industry. Talk about them being unprepared and how that handled, what type of issues they're dealing with.
Well, they're dealing with issues of losing money probably really quickly. So of being unprepared, because again, it's very important to get a mentor, coach, consult someone, educate yourself. It's a lot of education out there. I know it's hard to decipher who is really doing it versus who is not doing it, who is really just trying to sell you something versus who really wants to help you. So I understand all of that, but very much so do your research when coming to the industry. It's a lot of information out there that can help you at least make some decisions. I'm here to tell you about the stuff that they don't tell you out there. If you're going into the industry, what does maintenance issues look like? Is it better to lease a truck versus buy a truck? I've been through both. There, having the cash flow and reserves, how to start out with building your business credit from day one. So when you do make it to year 2 and year 3, it's a little bit easier to get financing. Those are the things that I'm here for to help you with, that you won't have to struggle with.
And that's such a good point. So over on YouTube, tell me right now, what type of issues, what type of struggles are you all dealing with right now with your business? What type of issues are you dealing with? What type of problems are you dealing with? What types of roadblocks are you dealing with that you feel like you need assistance with inside of your business? I want to get that from a couple of you right now. What roadblocks are you dealing with within your business? Because these are the types of things that this is how you actually get those things solved, by obviously in forums like this. So we can actually figure out, hey, what you need to do differently. But that's also why it's always good to have a mentor or have someone that you can begin to work together with as well. So I want to thank those that have actually already signed up. I want to get a couple more people signed up here as well, because I think more of you, definitely those of you in the chat that are still on the chat, I think it's going to be great for you to actually all join the course here as well. Also, so that is so important, really dealing with those issues and dealing with those items that everyone is dealing with. So here's one point. Someone says they're having problems with startup equity.
That's going to be a challenge. So if you're in the logistics and trucking industry, they're not picking on you. The trucking industry is risky, and not many people are willing to loan, because they're looking at, if you don't drive that truck, which I don't drive trucks, but if you don't drive that truck, how's that truck going to make money to pay me
I don't
back?
drive trucks.
Yeah, I don't drive trucks either. So I know the
but you watch those folks though on your camera who do drive your trucks.
Yes.
For their safety. For their safety.
Yeah. That's what it is. I ride with them.
You ride with them, okay.
Yeah. But just being able to get capital is gonna be tough. Like I said, I went through the same growing pains that you're going through. Nobody wants to loan you money. If they do, it's going to be a high interest rate, especially if you don't drive the truck. Trucking is just risky, because when that truck breaks down, a lot of times if you're a 1 or 2 man show, you got to make a decision versus paying that $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 bill, or go and find you another job and let that truck sit. So people want to know how they're going to get their money back.
Cool. No, without a doubt, that is such a great point. But to his point, this is why because I saw a couple of individuals that actually put that funding is an issue, startup equity, and all of that, and grants. But this is why it's such a good issue. One of the businesses that I started it from money that I had saved up, and this is why it's so important that many times, if you can't get funding, stop banging your head against the wall. Go and make some money and fund yourself. One of my successful companies that are members of Black Directory, they made $20 million a year, never took a loan, but they understand sales, they understand marketing, understand advertising, and understood how to grow their revenue to get to that point. So this is why I love the idea that you mentioned even last time, everyone, even in the chat, why dispatching is so important, because of course it's going to allow them to have low overhead, right? Low overhead and make some money. And if you really, really feel like you got to own some trucks, go from the dispatching. And of course, we talked about the freight brokering, no overhead, get some money up, and then now we could actually go and get some trucks. So talk about that process there again. You know, we talked about it before, but talk about the process there again.
Yes, if funding is an issue and you don't want to use your own money to invest in yourself, you can start again with a lower cost of entry, build up, you know, start with your dispatching company, start with your freight brokerage. Again, they don't require assets that cost $150,000 to get started. And you'll be able to grow your business, build your clientele. Now, one thing about it, especially if you get started in that industry, when you do buy your own truck, you'll already have access to freight to keep your truck moving.
Listen. So everybody, somebody put this in the chat. Somebody put this in the chat, God dog it. There's a smart way to do business, and fill in the rest. Then there's a dumb way to do business, right? There's a hard way to do business. There's a smart way to do business, and there's a hard way to do business. All too often, we take the hard route. I got to go get this loan and get all this debt. And you don't even have any contracts yet. You don't have any relationships, don't have any connections, don't know anybody. And so, but you're doing all this, and then now you're putting yourself into debt. This is why I just talked to a business a couple of weeks ago. They make about $300,000 or $400,000 in revenue, but they're talking about filing for bankruptcy because one of their trucks is working, two of their trucks is not working. They got all this debt and overhead, and she wants her husband to get in the truck and go work. And I don't think he's trying to, just like you say, I don't drive them trucks. All right, it's like you don't drive them trucks. So there's a smart way to do business. There's a hard way to do business. So if you start out with the dispatching, learn this from Seretha. She's already doing a great job at it. And then also do some other areas of freight broking as well. Now you start to build these relationships. If you do get to the point to where you actually have got to buy some trucks, now let's save up some money. Let's save up a couple $100,000. That way it's easier for you when you actually go to buy a truck, and now it's less stress for you as well, especially with the gas prices and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
How you dealing with all this gas out there?
I mean, we trying to survive like everyone else. You know, we're a small business, so when we set budgets, we set financial planning. We expect to move our trucks for so much per fuel per week, including our discounts. And when fuel skyrocketed, you know, we were just working to pay the drivers and keep the lights on. You know, but you got to have a business continuity plan to say, you know what if this happens, how will I survive and make it through this? Now that fuel is going back down, we're seeing a little bit of relief.
No, that is awesome. So someone else said they're having issues. Some of their pain points is they're having issues finding better paying loads for dry vans.
Good luck. Good luck. You, along with the other 50,000 drivers in the U.S., are having the same issue. Why? The keyword, what I said, demand. Is so much demand for the little supply that's out there. So the suppliers can, you know, drop the rates, because if you won't do it, everybody else looking for a load or demanding a load, so they'll take it for a cheaper rate, and that just keeps driving the rates down. So I'm so sorry, but you know, we're all going through the same thing. The only thing that's panning out, which is, you know, a good way to find by looking on load boards or with dispatchers, is dedicated lanes. You know, we have dedicated lanes, so on our dry van. So when rates drop, we kept the same rate year round. So I know a lot of people are opposed to dedicated lanes, because when rates go up, the dedicated lanes stay the same. But the benefit of it, when rates go down, like they're having now, we still get the same rate. So try to find a dedicated lane.
And that goes back to the next section we're going to be talking about, because I cannot tell you how many times I saw that question from individuals that register. So again, everybody, if you haven't registered yet, if you're on the fence, definitely go ahead and get started. Thank you for those that I see that have registered. Go ahead and register. The link is in the description. So if you click on the description, the link is right there. And then also we're going to place the link down in the chat there for you as well, that we want to get you all going again, so tell everybody about the 5-day challenge that's coming up on Monday. So give us a little bit more information about that coming up on Monday.
Sure. So we're having a 5-day dispatch challenge. It's really intro to trucking, letting you know how to get into the trucking industry. The beauty of it is I'm going to give you all your administrative documents to get started and tell you all the things you need for business setup. So we're going to eliminate that out of the picture where you won't have to try to figure that out. And then we're going to get into actual dispatching, live calls, role playing, talking with drivers, listening to drivers, and seeing what they look for in dispatchers.
That was such a great point, because one of the last sessions that we did, one of our members, they really talked about how you did some of the live role playing, and how it really stood out, and how they really enjoyed that part. So you'll be bringing that back. How many different truckers will you be talking to during the session?
During the session, I let the potential dispatchers hear from 3 different types of truckers. You have your owner operators, you have the company drivers, and then you have carriers which I'm considered a carrier company because we own multiple trucks, but we don't drive the trucks. We want somebody to manage the dispatching for those trucks. So I let them talk to a person that sit in each one of those seats and listen to their point of view and what they look for in a dispatcher as well. So that way they can hear and see that these people are normal people. They're just trying to make a living.
They're just trying to figure it out like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is good. So we're gonna be on here for just a few more minutes, everybody. If you haven't signed up yet, I just placed the link down in the chat again. So if you haven't signed up, now's the perfect time to get signed up. Again, it starts Monday. What time on Monday is it going to be on?
At 3:00 p.m. It goes from 3 to 4, 1 hour a day.
1 hour a day. And so the goal, so what now, obviously a lot of individuals, when they take these challenges, they know what they want to get out of it. But what is your goal? What do you want to get out of this as you're working together with individuals? What do you want them to do after 5 days? What can they expect to have? How much more experience can they expect to have after the 5 days?
Well, that's then, like I say, that's going to go along with what their goal and what their vision is that I have everyone do, so I can make sure that we accomplish that. But my goal is to make sure that they have a clear understanding of what is expected of a dispatcher, how you can execute as a dispatcher and be successful in this industry as a dispatcher.
No, that's incredible. And all right, so I'm just placing that link down in the chat there again. We definitely got several people that signed up, so excited about that. Definitely we're looking forward to having a couple more. So this is good. And so there it is again. Somebody said they want to establish relationships with shippers directly for better rates. That's always a thing, right? That's all. How are your relationships in those areas? Do you have good relationships with the shippers already?
Yes, we have relationships with shippers, but again, it's a supply and demand game. A lot of shippers do not give better rates because you're a carrier versus going through a broker. That's the thing, that understanding the industry, which we touch on in the dispatcher class as well. Shippers are looking at the market. Shippers have lost a lot of money these last 2 years, okay? So they're going to look, when rates drop, they're going to take advantage of it. So even shippers will tell you a rate that you may not agree with as a carrier, because again, they're trying to save money too.
No, that's the interesting part. It's especially with everything that's happening in the ports. Is that getting any better? I haven't heard much about it. Obviously, seems like the Amazon packages are getting to the house on a regular basis. But how the ports right now? How bad is it? Is it getting any better? How's it happening?
Retail season is about to happen, so there are a lot of ships still sitting on the water waiting to be unloaded. Ports are having the same issues that a lot of businesses are having. They can't find people to work. They have worker shortages. They're staying open longer to try to unload and get containers out faster off the vessels. But you're having the same issue, is delayed. So but with that, intermodal right now is one of the top paying freights. So one thing that we did, what I would advise this person that's looking for better rates with dry van, maybe consider changing directions for a little while to go to flatbed or intermodal to make more money, because those rates are still pretty decent versus dry van. Dry van is the easiest mode to entry into the transportation industry. So most people getting started are going to do dry van until they learn better.
And what is a dry van? For you know.
Drive-in are those big long boxes that are closed in and have the double doors or roll doors on the back.
Okay. And so the flatbed is the ones that are open. Is that correct?
Yes, it's just a floor at the bottom.
Okay, and then everything and just on the side there. Okay, all right. So this is good. All right, so everybody, we're winding down here. So this is really good, and we've had some great questions. And Willie, you have a lot of great questions. I think if you haven't signed up, definitely sign up. I think these would be great things to be, and we want to get you connected there also. But I love that Julia say, I'm ready. Everyone said they need more connections. People said they need more trucks. And that was the other thing I was going to ask you. Do you sell trucks?
No, we don't. Every now and then we'll sell a truck that we no longer want because we do lease trucks and we get newer trucks as needed. So sometimes we'll sell off our older trucks, but it's not a consistent business we sell.
Do you have a Black company that sells semi trucks?
Not that I know of. So
this is good. If you're out there, as I mentioned from the beginning, if you're a company, the reason why I'm saying that is because I have a bunch of people that's looking to buy some trucks. So if you sell semi trucks, if you sell trucks, if you sell flatbeds, all of that, send me an email at info@blackdirectory.com. I need to get in contact with you. I got some leads for you. If you like leads, reach out to me. Got some leads for you. Definitely, we got some individuals that's looking to purchase some trucks, and individuals that really want to grow their business there as well. And this obviously is so key as well. So all right, so everybody. So again, the session is going to be on Monday at 3 o'clock. The 5-day challenge. The 5-day challenge is so important because everybody that's signing up, we don't just want you to sign up, take this course. We actually want you to be really active, get this information and apply it. Every day. Apply. Are you giving out homework every day? Is that how it works?
Not every day. The first couple of days there is homework, but after Wednesday there's no more homework. It's application, applying what you've learned.
Okay. Yeah. So if you if they get going on, if they make it through Wednesday, they'll be good. Yeah. This is good. Now listen, if you don't do your homework, I'm giving her permission to kick you out the class. I don't care how much you pay. Kick them out the class if they don't do the homework. What you here for? Right? What you here for? And the goal is we want everybody to grow. Everybody needs to be growing. Everybody needs to be expanding. Everybody needs to be working together as well. All right. So we're coming down to the wire. Any other thoughts you want to add to everyone? I'm still seeing some questions coming in, but I think these questions I want to reserve for those that actually take the class. So if you have questions, and actually I'm definitely going to encourage you to sign up now. Again, the link is in the chat. I'm going to place it down in the chat one more time. If you have not seen the link is there. Just click on the link. It'll take you directly to the 5-day challenge there as well. So that way you can actually go ahead and get signed up for it. Again, it's happening this Monday, right? September the 12th through the 16th, Friday the 16th. So this is great stuff that's coming up. I'm excited about this because listen, this is how we all grow. I heard somebody say something the other day that was so key. He's a billionaire himself. He said, one of the things when you're in business, he said a lot of times rich people and wealthy people, they spend money to get access to more information. They spend money to get access to more information and more relationships. Yeah. We're always trying to get more contracts and we want to make more money. Yes, you make money through more relationships, more connections, more information, understanding what's coming out that other people don't know, and also being able to take advantage of it. And being able to take advantage of something like this as is happening is going to be important. So if you haven't signed up yet, definitely go ahead and get signed up. This is great. So we're going to end up here. So any other final thoughts that you have, Ms. Seretha, on dispatching, freight brokering, anything else that anyone else needs to know?
Yes, again, Brian, thank you for having me in the Black Directory. Thank y'all for having SJW Logistics up here again. And I would just encourage people, if you're thinking about getting into the trucking industry, do your research, get your mentor or coach, educate yourself, and then execute your plan. Don't think on it too long.
You just hit on something. That's what we do, right? So what did they say? The old people say, you study long, you study wrong. So you study long, study wrong. Take action, right? Take action. This is why, but you want to take action in a smart way, especially if you're just getting started. You want to take action in a smart way, learning from other people who've already trying to do what you're trying to do. I was watching Patti LaBelle on Drink Champs the other day, and she was talking about some of the upcoming artists, and she said something that really stuck out to me. She said, I've already been where they're trying to go. I said, wow, that's so important. And so the key is all they have to do is get with Miss Patty, and she can show them a way. She can show them the shortcuts. Hey, avoid this, do this, don't do that. This is what Seretha is going to help many of you all begin to do as you're going into the dispatching industry, but not just the dispatching industry. This is just one facet. She has many other arenas that she's working with, that she's dealing with as well, that I want many of you to begin to deal with there also. So this was great. Thank you for your time. And is my buddy back there your husband?
No, he's on the call though. He's on YouTube.
Oh, he's on the call. What's up, sir? We got to get together when we get back to Atlanta. That's a big border. I guess that don't cross the region. She got a built-in bodyguard. That's a big boy right there. Cool people. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, this was good stuff. But everybody that signed up, thank you so much. Excited, and I want to hear some good success stories. But I cannot stress. I cannot wait until the next one. If you thought today was great, the next one's going to be 10 times better, because we're really going to get into some things that we really need to touch base on in our community, so that we can actually all begin to partner, work together, and do business together on a larger scale. So definitely. So we're going to give you some of the dates. You don't have the dates for the next one, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. So we'll talk about that next time. We'll release that. We'll send it out by email here. It's coming up very soon. And also keep in mind as well, I have about 11 other members that are signed up under our member-hosted Zoom calls that we're going to be bringing forth coming here very soon. They're going to be talking about their companies anywhere from accounting companies to companies that are doing that have products, that have great services. I have all types of staffing companies that's going to be coming forth. Some really great. And I talked to a great one yesterday. One of our members that also just signed up for the member-hosted Zoom call. She actually assists with individuals, teaching them how to do some training inside of the school system. She teaches leaders, she teaches teachers, she's been a principal for many years. And so now she has her own business. So we're going to be bringing her forth to teach many of you that's actually looking for ways to get into different types of businesses. Going to teach you how you could actually go into the school system and actually provide these services, these leadership training for those that already have the skills there as well. So we have I'm excited about all of these member-hosted Zoom calls that we have coming up, and many of the members that we have that will be sharing the information, sharing the knowledge. One thing that I'm excited about, we have real members with real businesses that are making real money. And got some of this money back behind me, right? Real members with real business making real money. And I'm making a decree. We're no longer going to be the best kept secret. We're gonna bring these members before you all so that you can actually begin to see them. You can get connected with them. We want you doing business. We want you partnering. We want you connecting. We want you to grow. We want them to grow as well. Everybody should be growing. This is how we all grow, when we all partner together. So excited about this call today. And again, everyone, we'll see you on the next one. And that'll probably be in another week or two. But just keep a look for your emails. We'll be sending out emails and texts as well, making you aware of the next things that's coming out. But thank you so much, Miss Seretha Willingham. And thank you, everybody that joined us over on YouTube. Thank you for everybody that joined us up on Facebook. Thank you for everybody that's also here on Zoom. Just a few of us here on Zoom, but everybody else is on YouTube. Really excited about this. Let's get this started. Again, it starts what day, Seretha? Yep, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I went on mute. It starts on Monday, September the 12th at 3:00 p.m. Eastern time.
Monday, September the 12th at 3 p.m. Keep me posted. Let me know all the success stories that you all have. Hey, everybody. Y'all have a great day. I got to go get me some food. Y'all have a great one. Let's get out of here. See you, Miss Seretha. You can go relax now.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of the evening.
You too.
Y'all take care now.